Tonight, Downing Street drama. It's Ian Murray out and Douglas Alexander in as Scottish Secretary as the Prime Minister reshuffles his cabinet following his deputy's resignation.
I'll have the latest on a massive day in politics and what it means for Labour here at Westminster and in Scotland.
Also making the headlines, the leader of Glasgow City Council says it won't be making a special effort to remove flags from lampposts. The Tartan Army are in fine voice in Denmark ahead of tonight's first World Cup qualifier.
In sport, it's a huge night for Scotland as Steve Clarke's men prepare to take on Denmark in their World Cup qualifying opener.
And it's time for a Pugacino. We head along to Scotland's first Pug Cafe for a special coffee break. I'm John Mackay. This is the STV News at 6. Good evening. The Scottish Secretary, Ian Murray, has been sacked amid a major cabinet reshuffle at number 10 Downing Street. He's been replaced by the former Minister, Douglas Alexander. In a day of drama, the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, brought in the changes following the resignation of his deputy this morning. Angela Rayner had referred to herself to the Independent Advisor on Ministerial Standards for underpaying stamp duty on her flat. To our Westminster correspondent, Paris Koutsianis. Paris, what does all this mean for the Labour Party?
John, this is a significant blow. It was only on Monday that Keir Starmer said he had reset his government. It was phase 2, time for delivery. But that was before the bombshell admission from Angela Rayner that she had underpaid tax on the purchase of a second home. Her resignation is a blow to Keir Starmer. She was his deputy and ally. She could speak to parts of the Labour Party and the country that the Prime Minister struggles to cut through to. But her fate was sealed when the independent watchdog on standards ruled that she had broken the ministerial code.
Ultimately, she's made the right decision, but on a human level, Angela's someone that's very close to me. She's a good friend of mine, a political ally of mine, and of course, I feel a deep sense of sadness that she's now had to leave government. She's actually delivered very effectively in government. We wouldn't have a new deal for working people if it wasn't for the energy and the commitment and the values of Angela Rayner, and so I obviously wish her and her family all the best.
Now, Angela Rayner hasn't just resigned from government, she's also resigned as the elected deputy leader of Labour. And the contest that's now to come could be divisive and distracting. That's why the Prime Minister had to look like he was seizing the initiative with this wholesale reshuffle of his cabinet.
And Paris, the reshuffle has cost the Scottish Secretary Ian Murray his job. That's surprised people.
Politics is a brutal business, isn't it? It was only yesterday the Prime Minister and Ian Murray were in Scotland together celebrating record investment in shipbuilding on the Clyde. Today, he was being sacked over the telephone. It's clearly come as a surprise to Ian Murray. He released a statement saying how disappointed he was. He is Scottish Labour's great survivor. He spent years in the political wilderness waiting for a leader like Keir Starmer to come along and take Labour back into power. But for a while now, I've heard whispers inside government that even though the two men politically should have a lot in common, personally they did not. And the Prime Minister preferred to have his own man in the Scotland office. That man is Douglas Alexander, who's done the job before, almost 20 years ago, when Labour were last in power. He's now Scotland's man around the cabinet table. His main job coming up is going to be trying to defeat the SNP at next year's Holyrood election.
Paris in Downing Street, thank you. The Reform Party leader, Nigel Farage, said the government is deep in crisis and that the cabinet is not fit to govern. He was reacting to the news of Angela Rayner's resignation at his party's conference in Birmingham. But how's his party faring here? Well, at the general election last year, they got 7% of the vote across Scotland. A poll published this week suggests they could be on track to get 16% at next year's Scottish Parliament election. Take Hamilton as an example. Last year, Reform got 7.8% at the general election. A few months ago, they got 26% at the Holyrood by-election. Reform has one MSP after Graham Simpson defected from the Scottish Conservatives. Opinion polls suggest they could have 15 or 16 in the next Parliament. But who are they? STV has had exclusive access to the party's biggest gathering so far in Scotland. Here's our political editor, Colin Mackay.
We've been trying to get access to Reform meetings for some time to find out who they are.
We're the party, Reform UK, that everybody is talking about.
A year ago you were in the small room next door. At that point people were still dismissing you as cranks in Scotland.
And how wrong they were always wrong. We were always the smart people with the common sense solutions.
We haven't been able to get into a local Reform meeting, but I was allowed into their dinner in Glasgow's Corinthian Club. It's maybe not your average Reform crowd, but it's the first access we've had, and it's the day after Graham Simpson defected from the Tories.
I was a member of the Conservative Party since I was 18. I joined in Freshers' Week at Edinburgh Uni, loyal to the party for many years.
You used to work for Megan Gallagher,
yes,
who was at the time Deputy Leader of the Scottish Conservative Party.
Yeah.
What's moved you to Reform?
I mean, why would I say? What sense does it make? Our country's in an absolute mess.
I'm a Conservative. I still am a Conservative, but Reform is the Conservative Party now, and the Conservative Party isn't. I don't know what it is.
So do you think the Tories have gone too far to the centre?
I think the Tories have gone too far left.
They're not all former Tories though. Some are new to party politics. Have you been in other parties? Have you been involved in politics?
Never.
So this is your first time?
Yes.
I was working as an economic advisor for the EU, would you believe?
Reform wants to scrap net zero targets and step up oil and gas production. So far they don't really have any Scottish Parliament election policies, but they do say they want to get rid of the SNP from government. Their top priority though, by a mile, is stopping illegal immigration. From outside the party, many critics will suggest that it's a racist party. Do you feel that?
Absolutely not. Me as a black person, as you can see, my parents and my grandparents are products of the Windrush generation. There's no way I could look them in the eye, and my daughter also, knowing that I was attached to her, anything.
Even when you hear the party talking about putting lots of asylum seekers, illegal asylum seekers potentially, in what essentially are internment camps, that doesn't bother you?
Not at all. That's not racism, is it? I mean, this has got nothing to do with race. I mean, the asylum seeker, he's got nothing to do with race. They're illegal. They're a threat to our national security. They shouldn't be here.
When you hear Reform talking about how they will deal with people coming into the UK, how do you feel as someone who chairs that Iraqi association?
Well, Reform doesn't say about the people who come to this country. Reform says the people who come illegally.
At the dinner, I'm told there are a few former SNP members, even a former ALBA member, but I didn't get to meet them. There were, though, a few former Labour members. How do you go from being a Labour councillor on the left to a Reform councillor on the right?
Because I think fundamentally it's a party of the working class Reform, and I think that Reform actually go out and speak to those people that Labour should be representing. So I think
You've gone from the left to the right. Not the voters, you've gone.
No, I would say that Labour have went away from being a party of the working class.
Opinion polls put Reform third behind the SNP and Labour for next year's election. People in those parties tell me some of their voters will back Reform on the list. They're a party on the rise and could have some real clout in the next Scottish Parliament.
Colin Mackay reporting on Reform in Scotland. Now, in the last few weeks, the sight of flags flying from lampposts in our towns and cities has become increasingly common. The saltires and union flags have appeared in the wake of protests at hotels housing asylum seekers. Some councils, like Falkirk, say workers have been subjected to intimidation while trying to take them down. But today, the leader of Glasgow City Council says it won't be making a special effort to remove them. Here's our senior reporter, Gordon Cree.
In the Westfield area of Falkirk, almost every street is festooned with flags. A post on social media boasts of putting up 60 of them, with more on the way.
I think they're brilliant. We're only demonstrating this is Scotland, this is our country. I think it's more down to the fact that the illegal immigration, right? So, and the government are just labelling everybody far right. So I think this is everybody's kind of like response to that.
Enough is enough. You know, it's maybe a point where start listening to the people of Falkirk, start listening to the people of Britain and understand our concerns.
Do you feel you're not being listened to?
No, we don't be listened to.
Which state of country? What do you expect?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, they're allowed to fly their flags. Why aren't we allowed to fly ours?
Who?
Illegal immigrants.
What flags are illegal immigrants flying?
Well, they're flying them all our country because they were on telly the other day.
Not everyone here is quite as enthusiastic about the flags, though.
I don't understand it. I just know it's very irritating for me sitting, as I do on my own at night, in my sitting room and being distracted by this flag outside. It makes me quite anxious, actually.
So you rather that they weren't there?
They didn't do it, yeah.
Falkirk Council has been taking down flags around the town, citing health and safety and saying them being put up was unauthorised. It says that some workers have been subject to intimidation while removing them. We asked for an interview about that today, but we were told no one was available.
The flags have appeared in the days after a demonstration outside a former hotel used to house asylum seekers a couple of miles away. Similar displays have sprung up in Glasgow, a city with more of a history with flags.
It will be dealt with as part of normal operational activities by the teams who work on this. It's not something that will divert resources to deal with, but certainly we would take flags down at the point where, before hopefully they start to look a bit tatty and they deteriorate, and then that usually happens actually quite quickly.
Asylum seekers, refugees, particularly I will talk on behalf of the people of Afghanistan, they need your support, they need your love, not your hate. But the flag is the flag of the country and this belongs to Scotland, so please do not misuse this flag.
With more protests expected in Falkirk in the coming weeks, and clearly plenty of discontent in estates like this, any hope of community harmony may well be in vain. Gordon Cree, STV News, Falkirk.
A man accused of murdering his wife in their North Berwick home because he believed she was having an affair sobbed in court today as a video taken hours before she died was shown to the jury. Monpati Dodo Isaacs denies murdering Nesso Isaacs on New Year's Day 2024. More from our reporter Lewis Mickey.
Today the court heard from Victor Onachuku, a former co-worker of Ketsafili Isaacs, known as Nazo. The 36-year-old support worker said Nazo had told him she had physical fights with her husband, Monpati Isaacs, known as Dodo, and that she had planned to leave him. Isaacs is accused of murdering his wife at their home in North Berwick on New Year's Day 2024. The court was shown 2 images of Nazo where her face appeared swollen. She had sent these to Mr Onachuku, claiming it was a result of her husband hitting her. Time and time again, Mr Onachuku was asked if he had an affair with Nazo. Time and time again, he said no. Dodo Isaacs made this post on Facebook on the day Nazo died, claiming Mr Onachuku destroyed his marriage and admitting, yes, I hurt her, but saying that was not an excuse to cheat on him. The court was shown a video taken on Hogmanay of the couple with drinks in their hands. They shared a kiss before the video ends. At this point, Dodo Isaacs began to audibly cry and sob in the dock, and the day's proceedings were brought to a close. Isaacs has lodged a special defence of diminished responsibility due to abnormality of the mind. The trial before Lady Ross continues. Lewis Mickey, STV News at the High Court in Edinburgh.
A body has been found in the search for a mother from Glasgow who has been missing in Greece for more than a month. Michelle Burda disappeared from a beach near Kavala. Her husband is said to have woken up on a sunbed to find her gone. Yesterday, a sailing vessel located a body on the rocky islet of Findonisi. The Foreign Office says it's supporting the family. So Billy Connolly is to be honoured as part of events to mark Glasgow's 850th anniversary. This weekend has been dubbed the Biggin Weekend and will include events based around film, music, comedy and walking and cycling tours covering his life and career. Ollie Dickinson has more.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Billy Connolly.
He's known worldwide and is now being celebrated where it all began. This weekend, as Glasgow marks 850 years, it's giving a nod to one of its most famous sons.
He's just Scotland, isn't he? He's just everything that represents Scotland.
Non-stop laughter with Billy. Yeah. As soon as he comes on the screen, you can do nothing but laugh.
Funny. He's a good representation of Glasgow.
The big banana feet and the comedy and all the... If it wasn't for your wellies. If I had to choose a few people round my dinner table, he would be one of them.
A range of events are taking place across this weekend, from screenings of the famous Big Banana Feet film to a cycling tour, taking in the Big Ian's life.
So we'll go through where he was first born in Anderson, to his early life in Partick. Of course, we'll be able to come across to Govan as well and just talk about some of those stories that helped shape him. Just an ordinary working class Glaswegian who really made the big time, and he made that through reflecting on his own ordinary life stories.
There's another fabulous thing, incontinence knickers. There's always too many incontinence knickers.
Billy Connolly's influence on comedy is undeniable, inspiring generations of Glasgow comics to follow in his footsteps.
This form of stand-up wasn't done. It was all kind of men in frilly shirts telling jokes, whereby Billy Connolly sort of kind of invented a language, almost an alphabet for Scottish people to use to communicate with the rest of the world. You know, it was proper storytelling, rooted in our own lives, observational, uproariously funny, heartbreakingly sad sometimes as well.
A 6-decade-long career has seen Sir Billy become an acclaimed artist, actor, writer, musician, and of course, one of the world's most famous comedians. But his Glasgow roots still hold a very special place.
I've got a song about Glasgow, and in it I said, and Glasgow gave me more than it ever took away. And it's true. It's given me such a life.
Ollie Dickinson, STV News.
Now, Rahman is here with the sport, and the Glory Trail starts again this evening for Scotland.
Listen, John, it's a Friday night, the weekend's here. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Scotland kick off the World Cup qualifying campaign in Denmark, and we're with the squad.
Your window to sport. C.R. Smith sponsors STV Sport.
Good evening. Steve Clarke says his team are ready to handle the pressure of ending Scotland's 27-year wait to qualify to the World Cup. The Scots are in Copenhagen to face Denmark, with they kick off their qualifying campaign tonight before travelling to Hungary to face Belarus 3 days later in a closed-door game. From Copenhagen, Ronnie Chatters sends this report.
Well, the stage is set here in Copenhagen in just under a couple of hours' time. Steve Clarke and his Scotland squad will walk out here at the Parken Stadium to take on Denmark. The Dark Blues embarking on a new World Cup journey. The Tartan Army here in their thousands, dreaming this will be the start of a memorable World Cup journey.
No, Scotland will party. No.
It's all aboard another World Cup adventure with Scotland. The Tartan Army taking to the waters in Copenhagen this afternoon as they prepare for tonight's huge qualification opener. Be it land or sea, you can always guarantee a tartan takeover.
The place is bouncing and we're just about to go boozing and cruising. You can't beat it, you just can't beat it.
I bring my husband on these away trips so he gets out, he really enjoys them. I think this is his third, but yeah, we've been coming for years.
I think if we get a point then take it to Belarus.
This is going to be awesome. No Scotland, no apartheid!
For head coach Steve Clarke, potentially his final campaign in charge of the national team, with his contract up next summer. He's confident his squad have what it takes to go all the way.
Yeah, it's tough. 2 difficult away games. Obviously coming here, we were here last World Cup qualifying. We know it's a tough place to come. They always play well at home, the Danish team. Very aggressive, get after you. So we know we have to defend well, but we also know we have to play well. When we have the ball, we have to play, we have to try and create chances, and hopefully we can come away with a nice positive result to start the campaign.
Andy Robertson has captained Scotland to back-to-back European championships. But the Liverpool defender admits this may be his last chance to walk out at a World Cup finals.
If I look back on my career, I've achieved a hell of a lot of stuff that I'm really proud of, but you know, it's one thing that's clearly missing, and it would be amazing to do that.
They bring the noise and the colour everywhere they go. And as ever, they bring the bubbles. But as we once again begin this qualification voyage, the Tartan Army are hoping their team can create history and set sail for the USA, Canada and Mexico next year. Ronnie Charters, STV Sport in Copenhagen.
Well, let's now take a look at Scotland's group and what it'll take to qualify to next summer's finals in the USA, Canada and Mexico. The Scots are in Group C alongside tonight's hosts Denmark and Belarus and Greece. We play each country home and away, so a total of 6 matches kicking off from tonight until mid-November. If Scotland top the group come the end of the qualifying campaign, then that looks great, doesn't it? Scotland will be at next year's World Cup. However, should Scotland finish second, then they'll be in the playoffs next year. More to come on that in a second. And heaven forbid, if Steve Clarke's side finish third or fourth, we will be out. And once again, we'll be watching the World Cup on the telly. Now, as I mentioned, the playoffs. If Scotland finish second, then there'll be a one-legged semi-final playoff in March. Should we progress through that, we move on to a playoff final for a winner-takes-all place in next year's World Cup. But let's just forget about the playoffs and do it the easy way, guys. That is by winning the group. Well, one man who, Motherwell defender Stephen O'Donnell, was in the team that famously defeated Serbia on penalties to secure a place at Euro 2020 and played in that tournament. We asked O'Donnell if he's confident Scotland will end their long wait to play at that World Cup.
What we need to be is, if we qualify top of the group, it's been an exceptional campaign and would earmark Steve Clarke as one of the best managers again with Scotland. Even although he's already qualified for 2, putting him up there, that would be some achievement to qualify for the World Cup top of the group. It's going to be tough, I hope we can, but if we got playoffs, I would go that's on the balance of the group and how good we've seen the Greeks were in the summer there.
Playoffs probably our realistic target.
Look, yeah, I think if we don't make the playoffs, it would be disappointing.
Your window to sport. C.R. Smith sponsors STV Sport.
So a big night, John, for Steve Clarke and his players in Copenhagen tonight with the opening World Cup qualifier. Switching sports at the Women's Rugby World Cup. Tomorrow the Scots face Canada in their final pool stage match. They're already assured of a place in the quarterfinals, but win tonight and they will top their group. It'll be a tough task. That's all sport for me tonight. Have a great weekend. See you again next week.
Bernard, thank you. Well, with all eyes on Copenhagen tonight, the big question, what's the weather going to be like? What's it going to be, Phil?
Well, indeed, John. Step aside, Raman. Here's my sports forecast. With kick-off just over an hour away, conditions are looking a lot better in Copenhagen than they were earlier today. The Danish Meteorological Institute had a rainfall warning out this morning for Copenhagen due to some severe downpours and the risk of flash flooding. But the warning ended at 2 p.m. and thankfully the rain has cleared away and it's looking dry for the match tonight. But enough about Denmark. What's in store here in Scotland? Here is the forecast.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Well, as we head into the weekend, this area of high pressure puts us into a southerly airflow. So we're starting to drag in milder air from the south. So we will see our temperatures climb a degree or two throughout Saturday and into Sunday. Come the new working week, though, low pressure is never too far away. That will return from the west, turning things more unsettled once again and fresher and cooler feeling. Back to just now as we head into the overnight period. Across western areas, we're still holding on to some thicker cloud, the chance of some scattered showers. Further east is where we'll have the best of any drier and clearer conditions overnight. Some rural spots possibly getting down to around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius overnight. And where we've got the clear skies, could see some mist and fog patches forming. So looking ahead to tomorrow, a bit of an east-west split to start the day. Western areas starting off with some further patchy light rain and drizzle moving in from the south, holding on to that cloud. A drier and brighter start to the day in the east. east. Throughout the course of the afternoon, we will start to see more cloud bubbling up, certainly compared to what we've seen today, and it will be turning widely windy. Temperature-wise, like I said, nudging up a degree or two, highs of 19 or 20 degrees Celsius. Then looking ahead to Sunday, a very windy start to the day. We start to see these fronts moving in from the west, bringing with it some heavy blustery showers moving northeastwards throughout Sunday afternoon. Temperature-wise, reaching highs of 21 or 22, but with the wind, the rain and the cloud not feeling particularly pleasant. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
And finally, Scotland's first pug cafe is about to officially launch, allowing dog lovers to sip coffee, cuddle pugs and support pug rescue initiatives. Cup a Pug, which already runs cafes in London and California, says it's on a mission to help find new homes for rescued pugs. Reporter Laura Piper popped along for a puggercino.
This is the latest addition to Edinburgh's cafe scene, a coffee shop filled with pugs. Guests can book in for a cuppa and a cuddle, and it's going down a treat.
I love it. I love dogs. I don't have my own, that's why I'm here.
It's amazing here, yeah. We've been missing our dog back at home in Australia, so it's great to get some puppy love.
Yeah, this size is perfect for us. So yeah, the flat face is for us.
Half of these dogs are rescues. Some had their owners pass away. Others have more distressing backgrounds, such as overbreeding or other abuse. The Cuppa Pug team pay for their medical bills and foster them until they're ready for a new home. They say their mission is to educate visitors on responsible pug care.
A lot of what we do here is educate people on the specific breed. If they're looking to rescue a dog, really giving them the information around what does it take to own this dog as well. So, rescue has always been at the heart of Cuppa Pug, but also it's just a nice place that you can come for the hour and hug a pug with a coffee. I mean, it's the best therapy, I think, as well.
And when their play days are over, they go back home with the staff.
We take them all home, treat them like our own dogs. Yeah, just give them a little bit of love before they go to new families.
The idea behind Cuppa Pug is to rehome as many rescued dogs as they can, moving them on to their forever homes. In 1 year alone, they've already successfully rehomed 100 rescue pugs.
The cafe officially launches in the coming weeks, and the team say they hope forever homes for these pugs will soon follow. Laura Piper, STV News, Edinburgh.
An overdose of cuteness to send you into the weekend. From all of us, thanks for watching. Good night.